Well, howdy, howdy, howdy. Dearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day. And remember, no matter who you are valid. Thumbs up for that. And it is a brand new day, and unlike the past couple days, it's been, well, it's taking a look through the cracks in my window. Cracks as in where the guy didn't put in the AC unit correctly. I can see it's starting to get sunny out there. It was all gray and dim. In fact, I think you can see sunlight there. It was gray and dim and overcast, and I actually wore this to Walmart this morning. I needed to walk and I wanted to pick up some food. I've been buying food this month. Can't buy a lot of it, but I buy what I can. You know, enough that I can carry home with just my body. So thumbs up for that. It is getting sunny and it's going to be cool, but I am going to be using my AC unit off and on because my apartment is the long side catches the morning sun till noon, and because we have black shingling on these things, it is warm in these places. And ugh. So yeah, that unit's going on even when it's cool outside. Because, oh boy, yay, life is life. And of course, I am feeling still kind of exhausted and out of sorts because my blood pressure is still high. It's been slowly inching down. I still have the high-pitched riddle and whine of tinnitus in my ears, or tinnitus, however it's supposed to be pronounced. You know, it's just ringing constantly, and then, but it's been getting slowly quieter, and that's also been my blood pressure inching down, so at least that's happening. But the way I like to describe it is, think of life as falling down a ventilator shaft, and if everything is going well, it's a straight shot. But when something's going wrong in your system, you start banging up against the sides of the ventilator shaft. And it hurts to bang up against things. If you got it rough, like if you have bipolar disorder, where you're intensely low or intensely high, you got it bad because you're banging off both sides of that ventilator shaft as you fall. But, try to remember where I was going. Yes, with my blood pressure being high, because it's out of the norm, I have been banging up against the sides of that ventilator shaft as I fall, because my body is used to it being lower. And being off the baseline, it's been rough. I have not been able to think the way I normally think. I don't feel the way I normally feel. It is more exhausting. So, joy. I have still been playing some games. I posted a picture on the community tab because I've been replaying Fallout New Vegas because my one character whom I really liked, I can't get past that choke point in the DLC she's stuck in. So I've been replaying Fallout New Vegas with a completely different viewpoint and character build and idea. But at the same time, gosh, there was a story I was going to tell on that. Yeah, well, other than, well, nope, it's gone. It's gone. I was going to make a point about this character and the things that she does, and now the point I have forgotten. Aside from the felt cube might delete later thing. So, but I have been playing that, if I can remember. Yes, now I have. I've been playing it on the survival mode, on the hardcore survival mode, which is if you get a limb crippled, you got to go see a doctor about that. If you can go, there's two ways that, if you don't know the game Fallout, there's two ways it records your hit points. You have the amorphous blob of hit points, and then each of your bodily parts has a hit point tally. So if your arm takes more hit points than it can, it's crippled, and then you need to heal it. So when you get slammed with, like, say, an explosion, you may look at your amorphous blob of hit points, and you may have like 200 out of 200 hit points. But you take a look at your condition on your each individual limb part, you may be just having a scrap on each of those limbs. And unless you have something like a doctor's bag, then you got to go talk to the doctor. That's the only way to fix a crippling thing. So yeah, I've been playing it on that, which means you got to eat, you got to drink, you got to sleep. When you take any sort of healing thing, it takes even longer to take effect, and things are very, very deadly, even more so than normal. I mean, I used to, and with my other character on normal play, if people were shooting at her, she would just run up with her power glove and then boom, boom, and then just tank the damage. No, that's not that way anymore. You can easily lose a limb. Well, you don't lose the limb. It goes crippled. You can still use it, but just slow down. You're not going to be moving fast at all if you have a crippled limb. So you got to be careful that way. And it's been rough. There's been a lot of fights that I usually get into and tank that I can't get into and tank anymore. One thing that did turn out to be easy, if you don't know the game, you start off in a small place that's being menaced by a gang that uses dynamite. And you can either take them on by yourself or try to recruit everyone in town, in which case you have to go on quests for each of them. At the end, I had everybody in town ready to go out and take on the bad guys. So I got hold of my grenade launcher and we ran out to start the fight. And then here came the bad guys, and I took my grenade launcher and I fired one of my grenades at the guy in front on one side. The other fellow took off on an angle. I fired a grenade off on him, and when the explosions cleared, there was one of them left. Everybody else had been blown into small chunks of red steaming meat. The battle was over like that. There was no risk I could have done that at any point. But it was funny in that, human death and murder is funny. Which it's hysterical, of course. I can't remember the name of the movie. It's got Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell, where they're playing cops. And this was before Samuel Jackson and The Rock had it written into their contract that their characters can't die. They play the two full of themselves super cops who at the top of a building, a skyscraper, looking down, see bad guys running. And Samuel Jackson looks to The Rock and says, you know what we're going to do? Aim for the bushes and on. So they fist bump and they leap off the building to aim for the bushes to go and chase down those bad guys. And it follows them down until they go whack with very meaty thunks and splatter on the sidewalks. Again, of course, the point isn't that they died, though that, of course, is the vehicle of the joke to deliver the punchline. And the punchline may be just that. Just drooling a lot over here, my apologies. Not drooling, a lot of saliva. The punchline might be that these intensely smart, charismatic cops just accidentally killed themselves, and the vehicle is them dying. But most of the time, the vehicle is just the character's death. It's not the actual point of the joke or the skit, although there are plenty where it is, and those are funny too, depending. Simple murder for the sake of murder is not very interesting. You have to make it interesting. And of course, I mean fiction, not real life. Oh boy. I was going to talk about something else on that front, and now I can't remember either. It had to do with it was so close, so close. My apologies for being scatterbrained. My apologies for having ADHD. I wish I could think. I have been still pretty time-blind, and that's amazing. But the past few days, well, I mean, not amazing, because the way I put it, years pass like months, months pass like weeks, weeks pass like days, days pass like hours, hours pass like minutes. And so I have been not as time blind as normal, but it's been speeding up as my body gets more used to we're not on that hideous stuff anymore. And so I'm getting slowly time blind again. But I did yesterday in the blistering heat be very smart. I was properly hydrated. I dressed appropriately. I stayed as much as I could to shade. I went and slathered myself with sunscreen, and I went out and walked to my storage unit and back. Now it was only like maybe a mile and a half round trip to get there and back, and as stated, I stuck to the shadows, and there was a small wind, and so I got back there and back, and it was nice. It felt a little rough up here. I don't show the back of my head much, and I'm not going to do it right now because I got to spin around and I don't want to bang into things, but I am really thin back here. This is it goes away quite fast on this portion of my head there, and when you've got not much hair in an area, you can hit your scalp and burn, and it was feeling pretty sharp right there. And so I gotta slather up the top of my head, except I don't want to grease up my hair. I'm not bald back there. I got hair, but it's just getting thin. Again, one of the reasons that I don't wear it long anymore. Now other people, of course, they may disagree with me entirely, and I have no problems with that. There's 40 years ago, the group The Scorpions, the main singer, had he was bald on the top of his head and just had a fringe, but he still had shoulder length hair. And while I don't like the way that looks, he could well have looked in the mirror every day and just gone, I am rocking this look. I have got it down. And that's fine. Last thing I'm going to say on this sort of thing is, I was watching a video about people and how they talk about things being bad or things being good as if things are objectively good or bad. Not objectively good or bad, but their opinion is objectively good or bad. If they don't like a movie, then you shouldn't like it either, and there's no good reason that you should like it, and if you do, there's something wrong with you. My view on these things that has been growing through the years is when I say, ow, 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 oh, that burns like fire at times. When I say I don't like something, that only means that I don't like it. And I'm a nobody. My opinion shouldn't sway anybody else's. If I don't like it, that just means I don't like it. A completely subjective thing, I mean nothing else by it. If somebody else likes what I dislike, more power to them. That doesn't mean they like something bad. That just means they enjoy something that I don't like. And there's nothing wrong with that. So thumbs up. So, I'm going to try and be as creative as possible since it is cooler. I did go for Walkies last night because once it hit 8, 9 o'clock, it was actually kind of nice. So I went for a full, long walk, and that was good. But I'm going to try to be as creative as possible. I'm going to try and record some stuff. I got ideas, but I've also got all my issues, so thumbs up on that. One of the things that I've talked about it before, but my therapist likes to say that if you have ADHD or all these things or any sort of other neurodivergence, is he puts up a picture that when you look at it, it's like, what the heck is that? And he says, okay, you got to spell that. What is it? You got to spell it. It's a picture that you got to try and interpret. And it's only, he goes, okay, this is a picture of a cow. You see the eyes, you see the ears, you see the shape of the face, so you can go, oh, okay, that's a cow. Yeah, that's everything a person that has these issues has to go through. Stare at that, try and figure out what it is, and it may be completely unintelligible to you, in which case, you're never going to get it done. But past that, I don't have much to say. So as stated, again, going to try and be as creative as possible. Going to try and do some recording of stuff today. Again, it has just been, I have not been feeling good because I've been banging off the sides of the ventilation shaft. So I've been falling asleep early, I've been waking up early, and I have been falling asleep during the day. So I'm going to do what I can. Hopefully you too can do what you can. And if you can't, please do not beat yourself up. It will not help. And if you're a Patreon patron, thumbs up and thank you during these hard times. Holy smokes. These past 2 years have been rough. So your help is appreciated to no end. Thumbs up and thank you. When you look in the mirror, you're looking at someone who is beautiful and awesome, physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. For everybody that has left me a comment, thumbs up and thank you. That too is appreciated. I read and appreciate every comment, except for the abusive ones, and I don't get too many of those. I do read them, I do thumbs up, I do heart, I do like as much as I possibly can. So thank you so very much. And of course, if you have watched this far, if you could type sleepy time into the comments to let both me and the YouTube algorithm know that people actually do watch these videos. Very, very cool. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side. And that is indeed a very good thing. I swear. I got a whole bunch of appointments made yesterday as well. So much saliva buildup on this side. I got a droop going on here and I don't know what's happening, but I got a bunch of appointments made, so I got some stuff done yesterday, and that's a very good thing. Yay! You take care.